We are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome. I really want to know podcast. How y'all feeling? I'm DL saying y'all know what time it is, man. Happy Thursday. Sorry I'm running a little bit late. Yeah, man, I hate it when I have to modify our schedule. I love coming on at 6, but y'all know what it is, man. Daddy duties. Actually tonight we have, it's not even daddy duties, it's business stuff. We got a show we're doing. We're doing a one-off little comedy show at a spot not too far from me, so it's going to be a good time. So that show is at 8, which means I got to get there an hour before, and then I pick up my daughter from school. I'm about to go get her favorite. Got to go get her tacos, guys. It's gonna break the bank. I go out there and get these expensive tacos that my daughter loves. So we're gonna get that because I like to do those sort of things because my little girl she soldiers up when it's time for Papa to go make money, or go do an event. She's eagerly awaiting her tacos because she knows that's her reward for getting good grades and being good and watching herself while I do my things. Whatever it is, I know it sounds boring. It is what it is. But anyway, that's why I'm running late. I was on the phone and taking care of some stuff, and I hate being late. I was like 18 minutes late. So it is what it is. I'm here. We're going to get into it, guys. We're going to talk about Colombian game, man. And I want to talk about why I believe that Western men are so intrigued and go after women from South America, from the Latin world, Latin America, especially Colombia. And we're gonna, react to a couple videos, and I think you guys are gonna like what we got in store for you today. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed, man. Shout out to Shushu for making that happen. Brother Griot's out there doing this thing, man. So I came across this YouTube content creator, YouTuber. He calls his channel Be the Nomad. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but this guy just travels the world. He travels the world all through Europe and Latin America and Asia and wherever. And he just, has these conversations, kind of walks up to women and asks them questions. And I thought the show was really good. And there was an episode when he was talking to some Colombian women at a university, at a college. And he was asking, do Colombian girls want to date foreign guys? And I thought their answers were pretty good. There's another video out there when he was talking about learning English and what languages were, the most difficult to learn and to speak. Of course, most of them were saying like, yeah, they're like, Spanish is really hard for those people who don't speak it. But for Spanish speakers, they were like, yeah, English is pretty difficult, and the hardest accents for them to understand is, the English accent from UK, all those different types of accents over there in the United Kingdom. They're like, oh, it's really tough. So I was watching this video and I realized that first of all, passport bros will never bump into these women because they never leave the easy places, right? Passport bros go over, especially to Colombia. They frequent certain areas and they're inundated with basically street people. They're dealing with the bottom of the barrel. When you go to foreign countries, you need to travel and see the country, and that's where you come across the hidden treasures, right? And this video is chock full of hidden treasures, bro. Chock full. And this is what I want to talk about. Passport bros, they're not going to put any work into anything. They're going to go, they're going to look for the easy hit, and they're going to be happy with the easy hit. They're going to pay whatever. It doesn't matter. Why is that? Because passport bros don't have game. This is what it boils down to. They don't have game. They don't have game here in America, but over, you go to different countries and you get a bump in the social status. So that status gives you access to women and certain types of women. And it's easy. It's the easy way. But if they had just a little bit of game and they will go out and see the country that they go visit, they will find the hidden treasures that are all throughout the country, and it will really change their lives. But no, they go over there and, I ain't mad at them. They want a beautiful woman. You go to you go to Thailand or the Philippines or Colombia, Panama, Peru, Brazil, and you'll get just that. You know what I mean? Just beautiful women laying around everywhere. They're laying around like discarded toys, bro. There's just beautiful women everywhere. So, and if you go to where the passport bros frequent, those women who are looking to get money, those women in the game, they go right there, and it's all transactional, just like it is here in America. And it's like, bro, you kind of wasting an opportunity. So I want to get into this video. And this brother was talking to these women, and these women were just gorgeous. And I was just taken by this video. I'm like, oh, I want to break this down and kind of talk about the difference between the way people, especially women in foreign countries, are raised versus the way they were raised and act in the West. So I think this would be a good opportunity to do that. Brother Cody is King's in the building, man. What is good, fam? How you feeling, bro? Always a pleasure to see you. Let's get the sound set up. There we go. It's like most of the game is show up. Foreigners are always considered special. Yeah, that's a fact, especially when you get away from the transactional zones. Let's say, man, when you get outside of Poblado or whatever, when you get outside of these places there where people going in on the DR and all that, when you get into the outskirts, when you get out there to the real world in Colombia, in Spain, in Peru, in Brazil, when you get there, yeah, when women find out you're not from there, they normally can tell by the way you dress. Certainly they can tell when they hear your accent, whether you speak Spanish or not. They know what time it is. It's like, oh, okay. And yeah, it's just show up. Brother Pitney in the building. What's good, fam? Like, you got that right. Show up, be endearing, and don't talk yourself out of the Foxy Brown. Yes, bro, you can talk yourself out of it over there too, man. And I think here on this platform, we're really starting to shine a spotlight on that. Dudes, the best game is to know when to shut up. That is the best game you can possibly have, no matter where you are on the scale. Get in there, make your impression, sit back and just watch. And that's how it works in America. That's how it works in UK, Australia, New Zealand. That's how it works in South America, throughout Asia, throughout Europe. That's just how it is, man. It's a universal thing. And Brother Cody, like, oh, I'm right on time. Yes, you are, bro. Appreciate that. I'm the one that was running late. So yeah, let's get into this video. All right, here's the video right here. Again, shout out to B the Nomad, the letter B the Nomad, right? Please go over, like, and subscribe over there. He has some very interesting videos. And again, he's talking to women from all over the world. It's a really good place to get yourself gamed up. If you plan on going to visit Colombia or Spain or Germany or wherever, if you can find a content creator like this and he's interviewing women from that country, watch. That's going to give you some insight. He's not talking to the women who are in the game necessarily. He's talking to the regular everyday women who are just walking around out there, man. So this is a good way to get yourself gamed up and get yourself prepared. It's like intel. This is a good way to get yourself prepared. You're getting some intel. So when you go into this country, you're not going in cold. Wonderful 34 is in the building. What's good, man? Always a pleasure to see you, brother. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. And for all you Ninja watchers out there, man, I appreciate you guys. For those checking us out on Team Replay, thank you so much. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for me. We still haven't gotten all of our 150 subscribers back. We need another 40, I think it is, something like that, 41. We need like another 41 or so subscribers, and then we will have gotten that back. Telling you, bro, like I don't know how I lost 150 subscribers in basically a matter of hours, but thanks to you guys, we're bringing them back, and I appreciate you. So let's check out this video. You're gonna have to read the subtitles, guys, because there's, he's asking questions in Spanish, although most of these women do speak English. This one right here in the blue, she actually speaks German. Oh my goodness, yes, yeah. But anyway, let's get into it.
¿Y tú alguna vez has salido con un extranjero o no?
Sí.
¿Sí? ¿Y tú alguna vez has salido con un extranjero o no?
Sí.
¿Sí?
De Italia he visto un poquito como en redes sociales. Nos intrigamos por conocer la cultura cultura de ustedes, más linda. Me parece que depende también de dónde vengan. Obviamente hay algunos que son muy lindos.
Hey guys, be the Nomad here. Today we're asking Colombian girls about foreign guys. If they want to date them, what countries has the best looking guys, and how are the Colombian girls to date? If you haven't done already, remember to subscribe down below for more real street interviews from Latin America. Let's go.
So there you have it right there, bro. That quick intro, man. I mean, them women are beautiful, man. It looks like he's at a college campus. It looks like he's at a university. And bro, I'm here to tell you, when I was traveling to Colombia, when I was going down there, this was years and years and years ago, the women we came across in Poblado, right, and Lajera Park, looked like these women he's interviewing. Back then, man, it was a different vibe. I was watching the video last night. There are guys going down there just filming as they walk through Lajera's Park. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It is what it is. Sorry, I'm a gringo. But he's filming as he's just walking around, and I'm looking at the women. I'm looking at the people walking around. Like, that place looks like Tijuana now. It doesn't remind me of the Colombia, you know what I mean, the Medellin that I went to back in the day. What's changed? Man, you see passport bros all over the place, bro. Just sitting there, waiting to make a run, to make an offer for some transactional intimacy, right? You just see them in the, I'm gonna cover that probably Saturday night. We're gonna do a show Saturday night for real. I'm gonna do a Lit Saint episode. What I'm seeing in Colombia now versus what Colombia was when I began to go there, two different places. And the women, the regular women, it looks like they stopped going to this area. It looks like they stopped going. Maybe they still go on the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, but you got to go out, bro. You got to go out. That's just one of those things. You know what I mean? Like, Wonderful 34 is like, you look like DL's little brother. Yeah, man. Here and there now, I'd be doing that. I'll switch it up on you. The beard to come back. Don't worry. Maybe I'll just do a mustache goatee thing. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it is what it is, bro. You got jokes. So let's continue.
¿Qué es tu opinión de los chicos extranjeros?
No, pues me parece chévere que estén acá, que conozcan una cultura diferente y también nosotros como conocer un poquito más de la cultura de los extranjeros.
Creo que son amigables, tiernos, me gusta, está bien.
Me parece que depende también de dónde vengan. Obviamente hay algunos que son muy lindos.
Bueno, yo pienso que es muy enriquecedor tenerlos como en la universidad más que todo. También saber cómo funcionan allá, por ejemplo, en la educación o en demás ámbitos en cuanto a la sociedad. Entonces siento que es muy enriquecedor culturalmente como para conocer más al respecto del mundo que nos rodea.
O sea, me parece.
Like, do you see how beautiful these young women are? I mean, just gorgeous. Not wearing a ton of makeup, you know, they have accents or whatever. Like, by that, they're just accenting their natural beauty. Not a whole lot of makeup. They're not wearing revealing clothing, right? I mean, not really. Can you imagine trying to have this conversation with a group of American women at, you name the college here in the U.S., like University of Georgia or, University of Miami or USC? Could you imagine just going around? Listen to what they're saying. There's these women don't seem to me that they're starved for attention. These women don't seem to me that they're locked into the trends like American women are locked into the trends. They're not using any kind of slang where they're talking about, drizzle, drizzle, sprinkle, sprinkle, and this all kind of thing. Like, if you try to have this conversation with women on an American campus, it's going to get wild. Like, these young women are having grown-up conversations and they are telling, people, whoever's listening, like, yeah, this is, what we believe is like to date foreign guys. They're talking about cultural exchange. They're talking about just meeting new people, broadening your horizons. Like, oh yeah, and if they're handsome, that's great too. It's just one of those things that it's a grown-up conversation. It's really difficult, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's really difficult to have a grown-up conversation with college students today because they are so bogged down with social media. They're so bogged down with looking a certain way. They're so bogged down with, emphasizing sexuality and, being a boss babe. These women are just sitting back chilling, being real women. You know what I mean? It's funny. And like Brother Cody's like, she hasn't been told that guy is an incel yet. That's funny. Let's go.
Parece que son chéveres, me parecen muy tiernos. Siento que son como más tiernos que normalmente un colombiano. Nosotros tendemos a ser muy toscos y muy bruscos. En cambio, ellos son como muy tiernos, sí, me parecen tiernos.
¿En qué se diferencian los chicos colombianos y los chicos extranjeros para ti?
Pues depende extranjero de dónde. Por ejemplo, este extranjero de Estados Unidos, de Europa, y también Colombia pues tiene muchos, o sea, como que muchas culturas dentro del país. Siento que los colombianos son como más alegres, como más outgoings, los extranjeros son un poquito más tímidos. No es abierta, sino como no están acostumbrados a tanto, como a tanta emoción, son un poquito más, sí, como más tímidos.
Generalmente los
And it's funny that all these women were saying the same thing when it comes to foreigners, especially American men, like, or European men. It's just like they're timid. Like these guys they're not as loose. Whereas Colombian men are more forceful. They're, they know what they want. To me, what am I hearing? Like, yeah, the men in Colombia are men. They're manly men. They do men shit. Whereas the men from America and from Europe, they're wimps. They're soft. They don't know what they want. And these, they don't know how to, like Colombian men will come and take what they want, you know what I mean? Because they're men. Whereas the American men is just, can I touch your shoulder? Oh, yay. She's just keeping it 100. Like these dudes are soft. They're soft, right? They're timid, right? It's like, it's like a continuing thing, right? Like they're punks, but they're like, but it's cool because again, they're like, that's the culture. So that lets you know right off rip, how women in Colombia feel about men in America. They think you guys are wimps. They think you guys are soft, but you got money, right? And right here, she's like, generally, the foreigners are a bit more boring because of that. They're boring. They're afraid to do anything. You know what I mean? And what's the cardinal rule? You never want to bore a woman. You never want to be boring to her because she's going to want to get rid of you. Right. So you got people like old Uncle Saint. When I go out and about, when I leave the country, I have a good time. Why? Because I'm the same dude I am in America, wherever I go. I'm having fun. I'm cracking jokes. I remember, my Spanish isn't great by no stretch of the imagination, man. My Spanish is horrible. But I'm walking around with a girl and we're using a translator app, and then I'll see the police walk by and the police will wave, and I'll say in Spanish, police run. Policía corren. And then they just start laughing, right? It's the small jokes. Just you plant these small seeds, and right away it's like, all right, this dude ain't shy, right? I walk right up to her, not even knowing how to speak Spanish. I'm using my broken Spanish to talk to her. She's like, this guy ain't shy. I'm holding her hand right away because that's how it works in that culture. It's not like in certain Asian cultures. Like you don't want to do that in South Korea. You don't want to do that in Japan. You want to move. It's going to take a little bit more time to get to that point. You want to get there quick, but you got to take a little bit more time. Pump the brakes just a little bit. You know what I mean? So they think Americans are just punks. And Cody agrees. Like facts, bro.
extranjeros son un poco más aburridos.
Sí, la verdad sí. Sí, siento que son un poquito más aburridos. Es una cultura muy diferente, no sé, yo diría que principalmente, obviamente, la manera de vestirse, de comunicarse con los demás, de relacionarse. Yo pienso que también que de igual manera el paisa es muy sociable, no sé, realmente yo no he tenido muchas experiencias como con extranjeros, como el paisa se puede reconocer como una persona muy sociable en cuanto a los demás. Los extranjeros de pronto podrían ser un poquito más introvertidos según lo que he tenido como experiencia, aunque obviamente es un estereotipo, pues obviamente el idioma, no se da cuenta ahí mismo el acento, eso son cosas obvias, pero yo diría que más que todo la manera en la que se relacionan como con los demás.
No 100% en la cultura, pues tienen forma de pensar diferente y sí, en la cultura. No sé, el aspecto físico, la altura, el color del pelo.
En la cultura, obviamente la forma de pensar y en el amor, en lo amoroso, en lo social, el tipo de fiestas, el sentido del humor, o sea, cambia todo.
Y notoriamente pues en lo físico, físicamente son muy diferentes pues
It's like physically they're very different. What does she mean? They're fat. She just being nice. She didn't want to come out and say it. Americans and Europeans are fat. She's like physically they're very different, right? I honestly believe it is probably extremely difficult to have this kind of a conversation with American women on universities right now, bro. I think the conversation would automatically slide to, you know, LGBTQ stuff, or it'll slide into feminism, or it'll slide into wage gap issues. It'll slide into all this the programming that they're receiving on these campuses, where these women are just sitting there, you know, reflecting on their experiences, thinking it through, and just giving a well thought out response to the question, right? One of the biggest differences between, you know, Western folks like Americans and Latin America, the big difference is in Latin America, they can still think, right? But America can't. Americans can't think.
Think tank, Arch, nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
Right? They still possess the old think tank in the rest of the world. They have to critically think. They're living in a situation where it can turn on a dime. They have to be able to think their way out of these situations or whatever. Where in America, not so much.
Entonces sí, es diferente. Y yo creo que la forma de interactuar.
Pues yo puedo hablar en medio comparando con los gringos, porque yo viví en Estados Unidos. Entonces, puedo comparar con que los gringos son como más tiernos, más atentos.
¿En qué país crees que tienen los chicos más guapos para ti?
Más guapos, no, qué pregunta tan difícil. Pues hay gente guapa en todas partes. Yo no puedo decir en Colombia, en otro país. Yo creo que los italianos, los argentinos. Sí. O sea, pues es que extranjero no tiene que ser gringo, europeo, pues puede ser de otros países latinoamericanos. Pues sí, yo siento que esos dos son como el top.
No, aquí
Yeah, she's into she likes her Latin dudes and Argentinian dudes. You know, she's like a certain type of guy. But as we get into this interview, you'll find out that she dated a German. Like, you know, but again, these women are able to just think this stuff through. And like, well, you know, I like this, I like that. I think these are the most, you know, handsome guys. Like, we have handsome men in Colombia. Like, we're very diverse down here, which they are. They have light and dark skinned Colombians. That blew my mind. Like, it's a very diverse nation. So like, yeah, but you know, this is what I like. Whereas American women, you ask them that question, and they're going to be thinking of who their friends like, or who is popular. You know, what celebrity or what athlete or whatever. Like, you really think that guy is handsome, or are you just saying this because he's famous? And this young woman right here, I think she's a cutie. I ain't gonna lie to you. She got her hair pulled back. I'm not seeing a lot of makeup on. You know, she's got on a sexy top, but it's not too revealing. You know, it's not like you can see nipples and all that kind of stuff. You know, you can see her midriff, which, you know, you can tell she's in shape. I think this woman right here, if I was walking around campus, I would absolutely talk to her. I would absolutely talk to her. You know what I mean? And, you know, let's listen to her answer.
aquí en Colombia.
Aquí.
Sí.
¿Y un país otra de Colombia?
Los latinos, 100%, no sé, México, puede ser.
España. Me gusta España, Italia, Brasil. Sí, también Brasil.
Ay, sí, Brasil. No sé, de pronto algunas zonas específicas de Estados Unidos.
And she was like, yeah, she's like certain zones in America. So she's probably like, well, certain states in America, she thinks the men are handsome. But this was the only one who said like Americans are attractive. But they were both like, oh yeah, Brazil. You're here in Brazil, you're here in Argentina, you're here in Italy. We heard Mexico. You know what I mean? So, but here's the thing with women in particular in Colombia. Looks really don't matter that much. I know it was, you know, a lot of these guys, especially the black pillar guys, are on this looks maxing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you want yourself to look as best you can, but that doesn't mean you got to go out and get surgeries and all that kind of stuff. Like, so you can go down there and just be yourself. And if you can make these women laugh, if you know what I mean, if you have, you know, the balls to approach them, you got a little bit of game, I think you're going to be successful. You're going to find success with beautiful women. Like, he's only talking to attractive women. And it's not like he's going around like it took him a long time to find these women. I guarantee you, the college campus It's just chock full of just baddies. They're everywhere down there, bro. They don't have the obesity epidemic that we have here in America, right? The average woman down there is, in my opinion, and I have a high scale, the average woman down there, right, is like a 7 in America. That's the average. That's their average in Colombia, especially Medellin. Right? The average, just state of their, beauty for the women in that country is the equivalent to a 7 in America. Any of those women we see in this interview, you bring them to the stage, bro, and there's going to be so many guys trying to get at them. Now, most dudes are going to be counting them 8s, 9s, and 10s. It's like, I wouldn't, it's hard to be a 8, 9, or 10 on my scale because, 9s and 10s, they sustain themselves on their beauty alone. They don't really work. They're like models or whatever, or they're whatever. They're making money just because they're pretty. 8s are just like fine and can make money. And they just, you know what I mean? So my scale's a little bit different, but it's not like he had to work hard to find these attractive women. Like you walk across an American campus, bro, you're going to become like the average American is overweight or obese, bro. Like I think it's up to 70, almost 75% of Americans are either overweight or clinically obese. Think about that, man. Like only 25% of Americans are in shape as opposed to going to Colombia. Pay attention to if you see people walking around in the background and stuff like that. If you're watching videos from people in Colombia or Thailand or the Philippines or wherever, bro, it's like playing Where's Waldo with fat people. See if you can find some fat folks walking around. It's really difficult. Do the same thing in America. Look at any broadcast on American media when the news is out on the scene somewhere talking about something, and well, let me know how many fat people you see.
¿Por qué Brasil? ¿Te gusta cuando un chico habla portugués?
Sí, obvio.
Sí.
El portugués es
gusta mucho
hermoso,
el
es espectacular, sí.
E vocês não falam português?
Sí.
Yo traté de aprender.
De Italia he visto un poquito como en redes sociales, como en TikTok y así, entonces uno diría que son como atractivos físicamente. Pues, o sea, obviamente por la zona geográfica claramente van a ser, no sé, de pronto más altos o las facciones de la cara son un poquito más diferentes a los que son locales. Los ojos azules, pues es muy cliché, pero es verdad, los ojos azules o que son altos o los ojos verdes también, el pelo un poco diferente, el estilo.
Ay, no sé, me gustan los colombianos. No sé, yo creo que los árabes.
¿Y tú alguna
Shorty was like, I don't like Arabic guys. She don't want none of that. Allah Akbar. She don't want none of that, boy. Allah Akbar. You know what I mean? She don't want none of that, boy. She's like, I don't want nothing to do with Arabic guys. But everyone has their preferences. And that's all these women are saying. They'll talk to whoever, but they all have their preferences. And that's another thing too, man. Like they're talking about, and I've heard this for decades. A lot of women in South America and Central America too, they're like, man, the dudes are too hardcore. The dudes are too rough. But, after I put it through the old think tank, I believe what it is that the guys in Central and South America have too many options. So the guys just don't take as much BS as American men do. Because the dudes have options. There's so many beautiful women down there. The guys is like, all right, I'm about to go get another one. One of the biggest complaints, they're like, oh yeah, my boyfriend is a cheater. All these men are cheaters. And it's like, yeah, but the 80-20 rule and you women only want the top 20%. I think in Latin America, the 80-20 rule, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, but the 80-20 rule doesn't really rule in the sense that it does here in America. I don't think that the women need the same type of resources that American women will demand. And I think the hypergamy is still there. They want to get the best that they can get, but I don't know, bro. I believe that the women in Central and South America are cool with the guy who's maybe only making 15 or 20% more than they're making. I think that's enough, as opposed to women like, nope, this guy has to be in the top 5%, 1%. I think once a woman in, these Latin countries, they get a guy that they love, he's working, he's doing all right, and they just come together and they make it work. Now, I could be wrong. I need someone who grew up in that world to kind of correct me if I am wrong. You know what I mean? But it is, that's my take on it. And the reason I say that is I've never had any issues dealing with women down there now I'm not talking about the women who are in the game. I'm not talking about the women who are leveraging intimacy for money and resources. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about regular women like at university or have jobs and doing their careers. I'm talking about those girls. Those girls don't seem to care as much about the hypergamous nature and getting the absolute best they can get. I think they just want to get a guy that's good. So long as you're good. So down there, I wouldn't say it's 80-20, maybe more, 70-30. You know what I mean? Something like that. I think that the top 30% of guys get most of the action and the bottom 70% of the guys don't. And I mean, because so many dudes got women down there. I just haven't come across a guy like, yo, I'm an incel, I'm a black pill. Just haven't seen them. Like them dudes are getting on down there. But that's just my take on it. Y'all let me know how y'all think. Brother Pitney is saying, whatever podcast was proof that conversation with these female college students goes in the direction you talked about. That show is unwatchable. Facts. That show is unwatchable, man. And y'all know I love Myron and Fresh. I love Fresh and Fit. You know what I mean? That's my fam. I'm part of the Fresh and Fit fam. But the after hours show, I don't watch him anymore. Even Myron, I mean, he was so frustrated yesterday talking about, I guess, Monday's show. The after hours show on Monday was so bad that he just, he's pretty much at his wit's end. Maybe I'll suggest to them that once a month they put together like a good panel of women and have an actual discussion, because it used to happen back in the day. It used to happen. You would have, people like Nina the Pineapple, people like Bianca, Slow Jams, you would have folks on there and the conversations would be decent. But when you had you might have a woman who's a doctor or a PhD, or you might have a woman who's working in corporate America. Those conversations were pretty good. But now, and a lot of it is, they're so famous now that a lot of women just won't do it. Wholesome women just won't go on the platform. So I don't know. I don't watch the after hours, but I do watch the early shows religiously. Brother Cody, literal sheep who paint their faces and hair like clowns. Yeah, so they're literal sheep who paint their hair and their faces like clowns. You know what I mean? And he's talking about the whatever podcast stuff. And Brother Cody, he was like, facts, DL. Way lower sea life population. Like it is what it is, bro. So let's continue.
¿Una vez has salido con un extranjero o no?
Sí.
No, nunca.
Amorosamente no. He salido con puros locales.
No, nunca.
No, yo tampoco.
No, me gustan los colombianos.
Sí.
Pues no, me fui a intercambio a Alemania.
But real quick, the one girl in the pink, she's capping because she said she was in America. So when she was in America, she didn't date anybody. She didn't mess around in America. Not one dude. I don't know, shorty. But here's another thing too. These women are more realistic. So he asked if you dated anyone. So did you have a relationship with a foreigner? He didn't ask if you smashed a foreigner. Maybe he should just say, hey, have you ever smashed a foreigner? And I bet your girl in the pink will be like, oh yeah, I was in America for a minute. Yeah, I did a little bit of that. Maybe. Who knows? I could be wrong.
Y estuve un año allá, entonces pues sí, como que estuve viendo a un extranjero y sí es muy diferente de salir con un colombiano. Me parece que los colombianos son como más atentos, están más pendientes. Sí, los extranjeros son como más, se preocupan más por ellos, no tanto como por la otra persona. Me pareció a mí, en mi experiencia. Fue un chico de Alemania.
Pero sí he tenido experiencias con extranjeros, pues en mi familia hay tías que están casadas con extranjeros y es muy interesante la cultura, ver cómo se relacionan de diferente, porque por ejemplo los paisas somos súper familiares y de pronto en otros países es un poquito más diferente.
Un chico necesita.
You hear that? So she was saying, yeah, in Colombia, in their area of Colombia, everything is very family oriented. Like this is what they're thinking about. They're thinking family first. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she was saying. She's like, but with these foreigners, and there's probably someone from the West. It's like, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. So that's one of the reasons why Americans are having such a hard time, dating and stuff like that, in my opinion, because we're not really dating with the intention to marry and have families. we're dating for other reasons. Like, okay, we're gonna date because I'm tired of being lonely. We're gonna date because you got the best Foxy Brown and you let me have it. Or we're gonna date because she believes I have the money and resources to support the lifestyle that she wants. We're gonna date because she wants a big wedding day, or I want a big wedding day. You know what I mean? No one's getting together. Now I'm not gonna say no one, but the most people don't seem to be getting together to get married, to have kids, to have families, and do it that way, the traditional way. They still do that in Latin America. And this is the reason why I'm always talking about Miami. Like, Miami is a very family-oriented place. And people are always like, nah, Unc, you wrong, man. It's not family-oriented. South Beach is not family-oriented. You know what I mean? Wynwood, Brickell, and even Brickell, there's older people who have families there. But that's where the foreigners and the transplants are. When you get into Doral, when you get into Hialeah, when you get into Kendall, when you get into Homestead, when you get all the way up into Broward, right? That's where the families are. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is go to one football game or one soccer match or baseball. Baseball is huge because all the little boys play baseball. And you see the families come out. Even on Sundays during football season, bro, you go to like the local bars in Doral or wherever, man, the whole family comes to the bar to watch the game, man. Mom, dad, all the kids, they all got on their gear. They're all wearing their jerseys. They all come to watch the game. The only thing I don't like about it is dad, done drunk too many beers and he's trying to drive everybody home. I'm like, nah, get a Uber, or mom would drive because she's not doing any drinking. But the whole family comes out to watch the games every Sunday. As Miami is a very family-oriented city area. Dade and Broward County. But the people who talk about Miami, they're always thinking South Beach. They're thinking Brickell. They're thinking Wynwood. That's not Miami. That's where all the transplants are. That's where all the kids come to party, spring breakers. That's where people come to vacation. That's not Miami, right? You can come across a couple women you might just randomly meet. And guess what? Y'all not going to be on the beach like that. Y'all not going to be in Brickell like that. Maybe. I love Brickell. So I love, moving around there. But, because of, the rates going up and everything costing more, a lot of things are moving away from Brickell. So now you got to go to the neighborhoods. You got to go to Coconut Grove. You got to go, to Doral. You got to go to Sweetwater. You got to go to these other places to have fun and make it more affordable. But it's, it's family oriented, right? It's family oriented, Brother Pitney. I think Fresh and Fit could dramatically improve the quality of the panelists if they made them take an IQ test and established a minimum passing score of 110. Here's the thing. The After Hours show is for pure entertainment purposes only. That is what drives the platform. Myron said as much yesterday. Fresh, they both look, we're doing this for y'all. Right? That's where these young dudes, these invisible dudes, these bottom 80 guys, they tune in for that. They tune in for that. Now, they'll watch some of the early shows, and I'm starting to notice that the numbers are going up on the early shows, and they're paying attention, and they're learning how to improve their credit. They're learning how to make financial moves, get themselves in shape, and all that stuff. Womanize, right? We had the sprinkle, drizzle show yesterday, which I thought was pretty cool. It was a good show. They're learning these things, but they really want the red meat is the after hour stuff. And let's keep it 100. If those conversations were playing out like you're watching CNN or something like that, like you're watching a really tame high IQ conversation, them dudes wouldn't watch that. They want to see the women acting out. They want to see the women coming in there with their, their women parts hanging out. They want to see all the cleavage and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like watching Access Vegas. Those guys are watching Access Vegas because they want to see these older 304s come out here and talk about how they got money, they got the bag and all this kind of stuff. And I don't need no man and I want to party with my girls. And they're sitting there, with their breast out. They're sitting there, with see-through stuff on. That's what they want to see, bro. So that's what it is. And then Brother Penny continues, this would dramatically reduce volume, but it would certainly improve the quality, which is just 2 and 2. So, and I ain't gonna lie to you, man, they're having enough trouble. Like, they have an entire team that goes out and source. So for every woman you see sitting at a table on the panel on the Fresh and Fit platform, there was probably 5 women that they tried to get, and that's the one that showed up. It is very difficult to source. Even for a platform like this, just me sending out a link, hey, join me on here. We do the split screen like the Brady Bunch or whatever. You know what I mean? We kind of doing that. And it's, people will say, yes, I want to do it. But, you got to track them down. Like it's really difficult. You know what I mean? So you notice we had Melanie on here. We had Jamie Lee on here. We had Glow on here. And that was pretty good. I know you guys like, oh, what's up, Uncle? Come here, ain't got nobody else on here. Like, bro, to get Mel to come on this show, bro, I must have asked 15 women, and Mel was the one who said yes and actually did it. All of them say yes. Very few women say no. They all say, yeah, I want to do it. Then you try to track them down. It is what it is. I'm not mad. It's just, this is how it works. You know what I'm saying? So Glow did it. I was so grateful. Whenever someone does the show, I'm so grateful. You know what I mean? When we get women on here, I'm like, man, I'm so glad she did it. I'm glad she kept her word. This is what's up. But it's hard to do. And that's with me sending a link. Could you imagine in person? Like what Fresh and Fit is going through? And then you look at, the reputation of the platform. I'm surprised that they have women there still. But it just goes to show you that women in America care about clout more than anything else. These women down here in South America, if you brought them on a panel, I mean, I know they did it in Medellin once, and they had, Myra had to kick one of the girls off, but she had an agenda, and she was one of the, she was in the game heavy. But like these women we're watching in this video here, these women will sit there and answer the question. It would be a very grown-up conversation, something that I would be interested in, something that we would be interested in. But the average person, these young dudes or these dudes, these bottom 80 guys, they don't want to hear nothing they have to say. You know what I mean? Cody was like, yeah, it needs to be a live IQ test. But he'll run off the whole panel, bro. If they did that, man, y'all wild. He will run off the whole panel. If they had a live IQ test, them girls would sit there, they'll all sound like Droopy.
You big dummy.
They'll sound like, yeah, as soon as you do the test and they look like a big dummy, man, they'll sound just like Droopy, the cartoon character. They'll be like, you know what?
You know what? That makes me mad.
And then they would take off. that would be it, bro. So they're not gonna have an IQ test. That would be so funny. You know what I mean? Y'all boys are wilding, bro. Brother Pitney, he was like, I think lab tests could be embarrassing. Maybe administer it a week before they're scheduled to show up. A week before, bro. They're trying to get these girls day of, man. Like they're out there meeting the girls maybe the day before, the night before they were in the club at the section. And they're like, hey, if you want to come sit down and have some drinks, you're going to have to do the podcast tomorrow. Okay, I want drinks. And then they try to get them to show up and do the podcast. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like, no way, Globe. Like, it's crazy. So I think that, the average woman in Colombia, and it's not just Medellin, it's Cali, Medellin, Cartagena, Bogota, all that. Or like these women here, like when you get away from the touristy areas, when you get away from where all the transactional stuff happens, this is the woman you're going to come across. These are the hidden treasures of Colombia, bro.
¿Necesitas hablar español para salir contigo o no?
No, pues con tal ya, pues porque la comunicación es muy importante.
No necesariamente, pues pienso que uno se puede dar a entender muy fácil y estamos precisamente en un mundo muy tecnológico. Si uno no le entiende a alguien es muy fácil simplemente buscar en Google o en cualquier lugar, entonces también uno comunicarse con el otro es una excusa de decir, ay, no, es que no sé hablar tu idioma, realmente es muy sencillo uno comunicarse con el otro, están las señas o sencillamente en el traductor.
No, yo siento que me podría comunicar bien, pues no manejo 100% el inglés, pero me podría comunicar.
No, pues el traductor existe.
Sí.
Right. So they're talking about how important is communication when when you go to these foreign countries. And this is something, bro, before we had the phones, man, before all this, I was traveling and I had a little pocket, a book, a little, what do you call it? So like a translator. Well, it's not a translator book, like a God, guys, what's the term I'm trying to use? What are those little books called that help you translate to look up different words, right? I had that, right? So I had the book and it would have phrases, how, where's the bathroom, or I need help. Can you call the police? I would have phrases in there, right? So I would do my little homework. I would study and I would have cheat sheets, right? I would have papers about this size and I'll be walking around with the game that I want to use. I know what, I want to say, like, you're very pretty and, You know what I mean? I think you're beautiful, or stuff like that, right? But I would use it in a way that I'm being playful and flirtatious. And I would have that done before I leave. I would talk to my Spanish speaking friends. How do I say this? How do I say that? You know what I mean? You know, this and this. You know, one of the first things I learned how to say was, how do you say? Right. So, because I use that all to this day. You know what I mean? Como se dice? Right. You know, I'm like, como se dice en español? You're beautiful. And then she was like, say lindas, gracias, lindas. Like, sí. I'm like, you, lindas. And then it would just start laughing, right? That was part of the game. I knew going in, I'm gonna run this game. I'm gonna run this. Like, I don't know, like this. It's like a cute, innocent, flirtatious, help me, help you situation. Now you got this. You just talking to the phone. It comes right up and you just show them. Damn, I keep forgetting. My phone shows up with a picture of my daughter on the front. Yeah, that's what that is. It's my daughter. When I flash like that, that's my little girl. So now it's just even easier. And the women are saying it's like, you know, you got Google. Like, the communication part ain't that bad. You got Google. Right. And I have my, that's what it was. I have my English to Spanish dictionary, translator dictionary, whatever. That's what I had. It was like English to Spanish, and I would just do that. Right. And I knew how to say, and I forgot now, but when I would speak to people in Spanish, I would say, you know, please say it slowly. And then they would, you know, like, you know, please repeat slowly. You know, and they would do it. And I was doing this in Aruba. This is where I was starting to, because when I was going to Aruba, I spoke zero Spanish. So this is when I started in Aruba, and, you know, I would have my little list, and I would go down there and do what I had to do. It was the same thing in Korea. When I was living in Korea, I was, you know, I had my phrases, and I still have my Korean book around here somewhere. I can, if I'm going back to Korea, I go over my notes and I, you know, get my head right and listen to, like, watch some Korean movies or something, listen to some K-pop, and I'm ready to go to Korea. Now, you know, when I'm getting ready to go to a Spanish speaking nation, I do the same thing. I just practice more and I'm ready to go. Now I can, you know, I can communicate. It's bad. I'm like, oh, girls, like, I'm not nowhere near 100%, but I can communicate. And that's what it is. Brother D-Mac is in the building. What's good, fam? He's like, bro, I've been trying to tell y'all this for years. The gyms are not in the tourist areas or nightclubs. If I was single, that's the last place I would go to look for something serious. Facts. You have been. D-Mac has been saying that from day one on this platform. And this is what he's talking about. This is what I've been talking about. You want to go out and meet these women. Every woman he's spoken to on this video would love to go have coffee with you, bro. Guess what? She's not expecting you to take her to some real expensive restaurant. She's okay just going to get coffee. What are American women saying? Don't ask me on no coffee date. Why not? You want to know why I think that women in America don't want a coffee date? Is because they're looking for these experiences, and they're looking for, you know, guys who are willing to provide those experiences. Whereas these Latin women, they're just looking to get to know you. Because in the back of the Latin woman's mind, everyone she messes with is with intention. In her mind, she's thinking, I'm going to have a family with this guy. I could go the distance with this guy. That's what she wants to know. Is this the guy that I can have babies with and we can have a family? And once she realizes yes or no, she's going to move accordingly. So she's like, yeah, sure, I would love to go have coffee. Why not? Sure, I would love to go for a walk in the park. Sure, I would love to show you my town. I would love to take you to the museum, which is what I do all the time. Like, hey, can you take me here? I've seen this place. I saw this online. I want to go see this. Can you take me here? Yeah, I'll take you there. No problem. And a lot of these women try to pay for stuff. And it's like, no. Please allow me. No. Let me take care of that. Please. Let me take care of that. Por favor. And then they're like, okay. And let you pay. Great women down there, bro. Amazing women. And I think it's because they date with intention, whereas women in the West, I don't believe they date with the same intention.
¿Existe el traductor a otros medios?
No necesariamente.
No sé, a mí
Pues
sí,
inglés.
depende del
Inglés,
idioma
español.
también, porque por ejemplo tú no hablas inglés. Entonces, no, sí, yo creo que sí español. Pues que venga y aprenda español. Interactuamos fácil.
Pero no necesariamente tiene que ser en español. Sí, inglés o español. Yo hablo alemán, entonces puedo hablar alemán.
She speaks
Hablas
German.
alemán también.
Sí.
Ja.
¿En serio?
Sí.
Kannst du sprechen Deutsch?
Doch. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen. Also es ist nicht so gut, aber es geht. Also ich war in einer deutschen Schule, deswegen habe ich dort Deutsch gelernt. Also für mich, es war nicht so schwer, weil ich Deutsch mein ganzes Leben gelernt habe, also seit ich ein Kind war. Also seit ich, aber die Grammatik und dann habe ich die Austausch gemacht, dort ein bisschen verbessern. Aber ja, ich denke, die Grammatik, also für mich, die Grammatik ist super schwer. Die Artikeln und so kann ich nicht so gut, aber ich glaube, dass die Leute können mir verstehen, wenn ich Deutsch spreche.
Aber du
Wunderbar. Man, she is so sexy to me right now, man. If I saw her in real life, that's the woman that's the Korean, that's the Colombian woman who speaks German.
Holla, 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 holla.
Como se dice holla, 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 right? In Deutsch. Wow. Like she speaks German, bro. That's sexy, man. That's so sexy. Right. And again, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like these women are the gems, like the hidden treasures of that world, bro.
wunderbar.
Ah, danke schön.
¿Cómo crees que ven los extranjeros a las chicas colombianas?
No, yo creo que súper bien. Pues que nosotros somos súper amables, que somos sociables, nos intrigamos por conocer la cultura de ustedes, cómo viven allá, qué cosas diferentes tienen a nosotros.
¿Y cómo son las chicas de
Did you hear what she said? She's like, I'm more interested in their culture and what it's like for you guys over there. And what do you think of our culture over here? And who are you? They move with intention. These women aren't sitting around trying to get over, bro. They're not. I mean, and you guys are watching this, man. Like, do you think any of these women are like quote unquote 304s? They might be out doing their thing, but are they out here trying to run game and, you know what I'm saying, run your pockets and get you to do stuff for them? I don't think so. They're very thoughtful, beautiful young women, and they're just having a great conversation. And this is why I spent so much time in Colombia, because these women were everywhere. Now it's different. Now in Medellin, like, in Legeres Park or whatever, however you pronounce that, is different. It's different.
Medellín diferentes?
Más linda. No, mentiras, no sé, más abiertas. Nos gusta pues como incluir a gente de otras partes, sociables.
Pues hay un estereotipo.
Yeah, he asked her why you think so many men come down here? She was like, because we're prettier. She's like, I'm just kidding. But, we're more laid back. You know what I mean? We're more social. She knows what time it is. Like, we're easier to talk to. We got something on our mind. That's what my father used to always say. That was his term. You want to get you a woman got something on her mind. You don't want none of these girls running around here. They ain't got nothing on their mind. And that's what it is right there. Now you got these dudes from America going down there with nothing on their mind. Most of these passport bros, they ain't got nothing on their mind but the Foxy Brown. They go down there and these women interact with them. These guys can't have conversations and these women just walk away. All right, this dude ain't got nothing on his mind. We out of here. I've never had a woman when I'm traveling abroad, wherever I am, and I go up and I'm speaking in English, like, excuse me, or I'm using their language and broken language, and they didn't stop to help me. Never. When they see I'm trying, I've never had a woman deny me when I'm trying my best. I'm trying to speak their language. You know what I mean? I'm like, if I'm in Korea, and I see a woman, I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to ask for help, in Korean, my broken English, dude, can you help me find something? They'll stop. As soon as they hear me, excuse me, they'll stop. And they realize, oh, who is this dude? And most of the time they answer me in English. Most people speak English around the world. So they'll answer me in English. And then they'll say, oh, I see you trying to learn our language. You know what I mean? It's like in Korea, you know what I mean? In South America, same thing. I'm trying to say whatever I'm trying to say. And they'll come over and talk to me. If a woman doesn't talk to you, she already knows there's something about you she doesn't like, and she'll just keep it pushing. And I think that's what these passport bros are experiencing now. That's why we have all this turmoil going on down there, especially in Colombia, this anti-gringo kind of thing, because these passport bros done went down there and they fucked it up. Right? They messed up their own cheat code because they refused to do the least amount of work. All I had to do was just a little bit of work. If I could go down there before social media, before phones, if I can go down there and communicate with folks, just using my English to Spanish dictionary and writing out my notes and doing my little homework, and I can get on. You mean to tell me you can't get on and you have a translator app in your pocket? Nah, bro. That's the problem. And they ain't going after women like this. They're going after the 304s. They're going after the transactional chicks, the girls in the game. And I ain't mad at them. But you done messed it up. You done messed it all the way up.
Tipo también de cómo perciben los extranjeros, principalmente a las colombianas, como mujeres muy sensuales o muy llamativas. Pues también he visto mucho en redes sociales que una mujer colombiana ahí mismo destaca, no sé, porque es voluptuosa, muy extrovertida.
Yo siento que a ellos les gustan mucho las mujeres colombianas, pues lo mismo que los hombres, son muy outgoing, pues tienen como mucha iniciativa. Siento que pues son también como más alegres, más activas. Entonces siento que eso les gusta mucho a los extranjeros. También siento que a veces como que se sienten abrumados porque no saben qué hacer con toda esa energía, como con toda esa, pues sí, pero no.
And she's right. You know, they talk about the boss babe area here in the West, and the boss babe means you got to be kind of mean, abrasive. You have to be alpha. You have to almost, again, you have to be the man you want to be. That's kind of how it ends up with this boss babe thing. Down in Colombia, down in Latin America, they're boss women down there, but you know what? They never leave their feminine. They stay within their feminine, but they still, like she said, they have the energy, right? They know how to get things done. They encourage you. They support you. They add value, and they're never, ever not going to be a woman. They're never, ever not going to be feminine, right? They're never, ever going to step out and try to fight you and stuff like that. You know, they might run their little game or whatever, and you might fall for the game because it's the feminine side. It's feminine game. You get the wrong one, and that's why Americans get their pockets ran so easily, because they've never been around feminine women, so it just blows their mind, and they're easily, you know, talked out of their money. Oh, send me money for this, send me money for that, baby. You know what I mean? Oh, more. Gracias, baby, mommy. You know, gracias, daddy, or whatever. Yeah, y'all know I don't speak Spanish, but these men are just blown away. American men are just blown away by that, right? But if you get a good woman, she don't even want your money. She's there to support you, make sure everything's good. She's checking on you because she cares about you, right? She's energetic. She's going to have you dancing and up and around, and she's all about family and being inclusive. This is why these women are so highly sought after.
Dime.
¿Y ese es un estereotipo o es la verdad?
Pues es la verdad. No, sí, es la verdad.
Sí.
Lindas.
Pues he escuchado mucho incluso de extranjeros que les gusta mucho venir a Colombia por las mujeres, porque es muy diverso, entonces es como que vienen acá también en busca como de eso, de la mujer latina, así de la mujer.
La mujer latina es muy variada, morenas, rubias, crespas, o sea, de todos tipos, es muy bonita la variedad. No sé, depende mucho del país. Hay muchos extranjeros que les gusta mucho, porque nosotras somos muy carismáticas, nos reímos mucho, somos muy, pues y como también tiernas, por decirlo así, encimosas, y tratamos muy lindo, o sea, somos como, hola mi amor, ¿qué necesitas?
Yo diría que pues mujeres muy sensuales claramente es un estereotipo con respecto a las mujeres colombianas, porque también generalizar pues también es limitar demasiado como a la variedad que hay, porque precisamente por eso somos un país pluriétnico. Pienso que las pueden percibir como mujeres sensuales, también muy llamativas, muy extrovertidas, pienso que las pueden percibir de esa manera.
¿Y tú crees que un poco es la verdad o no?
Sí, yo diría que sí, también por las personas con las que yo me he rodeado y socializado, entonces yo hasta también percibo a la mujer colombiana de esa manera, obviamente con un montón más de características, obviamente buenas, ¿cierto?
Siento que también piensan que son muy bonitas las colombianas.
¿Y qué ciudad de Colombia tiene las mujeres más lindas?
Medellín.
Las de Cali. Las caleñas son como las flores.
The last thing you asked her, like, which city in Colombia has the most beautiful women? I was saying Medellin, but she's like, nah, it's Cali. They're beautiful all over Colombia. All over Colombia. Shout out to Be the Nomad. Shout out to Be the Nomad. I mean, there's another video I had lined up because from my guy Stay Slick with Kit. He was talking to a woman. I'm gonna do a separate show on that because I just wanted to show the contrast between the average woman of the West and then what we just saw here. And it's just, you know what? I think I'll show just a little bit because I got to get going, guys. I got to go pick up my little girl. I can't find it. Give me a second. Let me find this. So there's a woman on that he was talking to, and she was talking about this experience she had with a guy. Sound like a pretty good guy. And I wanted to just contrast the difference between what we just saw with those women in Colombia and this woman right here. This woman of average looks in my books, I would say with all her makeup on, the way she's sitting here right now, I give her maybe a 6, a step above average with all the makeup and everything. But then, you know, take off the makeup and then you get to see her attitude. And it's like, yeah, it without the makeup, she's probably a 4. I would say a step below average. And then, she's a big girl, slightly overweight. She's full of herself, in my opinion. When you add all that in it, she just drops down further and further. But yeah, that's Brother Pitney's Barquila. I don't know. Bar and Quella. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Y'all know I don't speak Spanish, but that's his favorite city. He says that city has the most beautiful Colombian women there in Colombia. Brother Cody, you're like, that's fair, D-Mac, but that's no different than what happens in North America. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. And D-Mac was saying my problem with a lot of the passport bros I see is that they move like they are broke and thirsty. They act like they are winning when they brag about women they pull from brothels. Because to them, they are winning. You know what I mean? Because that's their game. That's the extent of their game. So, I mean, it is what it is. But real quick, I just want to show you guys just a quick sample of this woman right here. Just to contrast, and then this is over in the United Kingdom, right? It's probably in London. Just to contrast what's going on in the West versus what's going on in Colombia.
And I was very surprised because like I've never met this person and they paid for a taxi for me, places to place there, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then it came to a point where all the conversation was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it came to the day, you've told me a time and a place. Cool. I'll call you before then, but phone call wasn't getting answered.
Okay.
So then I'm like, okay, but I'm still gonna, we made a plan.
Yeah, you're still gonna show up.
Exactly.
Sure.
And then I get a message say, oh, I thought because I didn't pick up the phone call, you wouldn't take it serious.
So wait, because you didn't answer the phone call, he thought you weren't gonna show up?
No, he basically cancelled and bailed.
No, but basically his reasoning was because he called you beforehand and because you didn't answer, he was like, okay, she's not going to show.
On like 2 times. But that was
what do you mean 2
busy.
times?
Like, okay, so in
Did
the
you call him back?
daytime. Yes, I did call him back.
Did you text him, say, sorry, I missed your call?
Yes.
And he still thought you weren't going to show?
Yeah. So he said.
That's weird.
It's weird. That's what I'm saying. There's weird people out there, kid.
Yeah, but do you know what? The thing is, though, I've had a situation, though, where I made plans to meet a girl for a date. And then because I didn't text her on the day, right? Because we'd confirmed plans, like timing. I said, I'll pick you up this time. We're going to go here, etc. And she was like, because I didn't text on the date, because I went to pick her up. I was like, I'm outside. Didn't get a response. I called her. Didn't get a response. And I'm like, all right. So I waited for 10, 15 minutes. I was like, all right, cool. I'm out. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like I was asleep because you didn't text me today. I thought that you weren't coming.
Asleep, though?
And I was like, I don't know. Well, I mean, I saw the following day. She was like, I'm free tomorrow. Let's do something tomorrow. So who knows? But she was like, because you didn't text me the day of, and we only made the plans like 3 days prior. She was like, I thought it wasn't happening. And I was like, but we already confirmed everything. I was like, if you thought it wasn't happening, you should have just messaged me, say, hey, are you still on? But instead, you just waited. So that's weird though. I'm surprised. So did you see him after that or no? Why not?
Blocker.
You blocked him.
You get a remove. You waste my time. You waste my makeup.
Wait.
When the females watch this, and when you're putting on makeup, and when you're putting money on your face, and when you make the effort.
Wait. Did you go and he just didn't show up?
I was going to go, but then he sent me a text message saying you didn't answer your call, so therefore I thought this wasn't happening today. And then I've texted him the next day, and then he's like, this isn't going to work out.
Wait. So you didn't even respond on that day?
No, I did, of course.
Oh.
But like the energy that I felt from that person was just like, this isn't.
I'll be honest. I think you cut that
Going
off too
down.
soon because that was just miscommunication.
He told me that he didn't want to speak to me anymore.
Why do you think he did that?
Great question.
Why do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think genuinely maybe because of my personality at the time.
Which was what?
What side I was showing him.
Go on. Say
was more like
get her, kid. Get her.
It was kind of like I was a bit boisterous at that time.
Okay, so when he messaged you, I didn't think it was happening. How did you respond?
I said, cool.
And then?
That's Sheen. That's it.
And then he texted you the following day?
No, that's the tie is done.
No. But you said he texted you the following day that it's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
So basically, he messages you, hey, you didn't answer, so I thought we weren't seeing today. You message back, cool. No communication. And then he just messaged you.
I said, I put on my makeup. I've wasted my time.
Okay, so basically what actually happened then was that you laid into him.
What do you mean lay into him? Like,
because you were like, I've done this, I've done all this to prepare to meet you.
I said a time and a place. Yeah, I was pissed.
That's okay. I understand you're pissed. So when you say, I don't know why he ended it, you do know why.
I wasn't that pissed though.
Else.
I think, no, do you know what?
Don DeMarco, the brother Kid.
Don DeMarco.
Because that brother will sit there's a one-on-one. He is a master of getting to the bottom of. He's talking to these women because Kid is trying to help women. His whole platform, he's trying to help women. We all see what time it is with Shorty. We all see it. Oh, I don't know why he did this. What?
I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
She talking a whole, like, you stacking a lot of shit over here, Shorty. You know exactly what you did. And it goes on and on. He really draws out the whole story. You know, it's always 3 stories, right? His side, her side, and whatever really happened. Kit sit there, he drugged the whole thing out. And he brought it down. He said, listen, you're like, this guy doesn't want to deal with you because of your attitude. And he didn't use those words. Kit's a nice guy. He was like, and he got her to agree. She was like, yeah, you're right. He was like, it's nothing to do with all this other stuff you're saying, right? Why would he want to come over and spend time with you if you're acting like this now? This is the beginning. Y'all went on 1 date already. Y'all been talking or whatever. Everything is golden. This is the best you're going to behave ever. And then bam, right away, here we go. He gets to the side of you. He gets to really see you. Now, all that other stuff, like now you done lost your points for the makeup. Now you done lost your points, your forgiveness points for being over, slightly overweight or whatever, being a big girl. He's like, it ain't worth it. She's dealing with a guy who knows how to holler at women. This dude got chicks. He got dimes. So he's like, you know what? Let me go down here because a lot of guys think, well, I'm gonna go down and get me a regular girl who's gonna appreciate me more. You get down to the regular girl in the West, and guess what? She's gonna give you the same amount of bullshit that 9 and 10 is gonna give you. In most cases, it's even more. And a guy's sitting there like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna take this from you. When I could go get hurt. If I got to deal with this nonsense, at least let me smash a baddie. At least let me walk in with a proper 10 on my arm and get the social credit. At least let me do that. If I'm going to come down here, like this guy's like, I'm settling for you. I'm lowering my standards and I still got to deal with the top tier bullshit. That's what happened. You know what I mean? Shout out to Stay Slick with Kit, bro. That man's a beast. He's a beast. Cody's right, man. Shorty, and y'all saw it right off rip. Cody was like, nah, her story sounds sketch. You know what I mean? Look, brother Pitt's like, yeah, man, it's cap. She on one right now. Y'all saw her instantly. Dudes who understand this, they see it right away. Like, oh, hell no, that's the wrong one, bro. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Definitely snooty. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, contrast that, you know what I mean, with the interview we just watched from the women in Colombia. I would argue that the average woman, when it comes to, I would say the average woman is like her in America. You're going to deal with this in America more often than not. But then you look at the videos we watch with the Colombian women and how pleasant, right? And how fit and how friendly. All these women in their feminine, all those women he talked to. I think that's the average. That's what you're going to deal with down there, right? As opposed to dealing with this up here. And that is why guys go down there. This is why guys are looking to go wherever away from the West to find women. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Cody's like, they're all 10s. Exactly. They're all 10s. Just ask them. This is the thing, right? It is tough dating anywhere on planet Earth, man. I give you that. It's just making, people come together, having relationships. It's a tough thing. It's tough for all of us, but it's tougher in certain countries than others. And I would say America is one of the toughest countries to have relationships, man, to build relationships, to do this sort of thing. I would say America is probably one of the toughest places to make it happen. Having said that, if you can maneuver in America and make it happen, you're not going to have any problems anywhere on planet Earth. That's to the passport bros. Yo, passport bros, work on your game right here in America. Right? Work on your game in America before you go to Colombia or Brazil or the DR or the Philippines or Thailand. Work on your game in America first. Be able to recognize women like Shorty we just saw that was sitting there talking to Brother Kit. You want to be able to recognize that in an instant, like, oh, this is the wrong one. Or whenever it happens, to move on. This guy was like, I was trying to give her a shot. She blew it. She blew it. And Kit really, you guys should definitely check this video out. Let me put his link in the description for this video. Y'all should check this video out because Kit broke it all the way down. All the way down. He was explaining to her like, well, this is why he called you. This is what he was trying to do. He was, he's trying to get you set up, get you guys set up for a really nice restaurant or whatever. He's taking care of business, but he can't because you're not communicating with him. He's trying to find out what's up with you. You refuse to hit him back. And when she tells the story, she didn't hit him back right away. She waited hours. Right. And then when she hit him back, it was like kind of with attitude. And he was kind of like, all right, you don't want it. Fine, no problem. I'll move on. That's what went down. She blew it. She blew it. Check out that full video, y'all. It's only like 17 minutes long. It is what it is. It's like conquering armies with the original passport bros. You got a fact there, bro. That's a fact there, Brother Cody. So, bro, I'm telling you, man, when you look at the video from the interviews from the women in Colombia versus pull-ups and interviews from American women, or this interview that Kid had with this woman over in UK, right? Be it United Kingdom or America or Canada, Australia, New Zealand, it doesn't matter. Women in the West are going to give you a certain type of attitude, and you must learn how to deal with this so you don't have to deal with it later. And what do I mean by that? Learn how to identify the women who are too far gone so you can cut your losses immediately. Don't play. Oh, she'll get better. You don't know her like I know her. Bullshitty da. Don't play. Cut her loose. Find another one. Right? And if you can't find one in America, fine. Take a trip. But you still need that game. You still need that awareness because there are bad women in all these places we've already mentioned. There are women out there who are running different versions of game from the feminine. She can run game from her feminine and get in your pockets, bro. Deep in your pockets before you realize what's going on. And if you're not gamed up, you'll miss it. So passport bros, understand that. Y'all done already ruined Colombian, right? So it's kind of cool. It's going to die off. People going to, these passport bros are going to stop going there. They're going to go somewhere else, probably the Philippines or Thailand or wherever they're going to go. Brazil, fine. They'll stop going to Colombia and it'll adjust and they'll get back to the normal state. And then it'll be good to go down there and travel and meet some beautiful women. You can do it now. Just stay away from the touristy areas, like Brother D-Mac was saying. And D-Mac was saying, like, I think there's a difference between male-dominated versus non-male-dominated countries. You might be onto something there, bro. You might be onto something. But Brother Kid, and I'm going to say this and then I got to go. Brother Kid in this video was telling her that she needs to be brought up. I think the term he used, brought up, or she needs to be made aware of, or something like that. So basically, like, she needs to be trained up, is what he was trying to, he told her. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like that. And then she was like, so where would I get that training or something? But here's the thing. That training comes from the home. That training comes from your mom, from your dad. It comes from your grandma, your uncles, your aunts. It comes from your church if you're into that. It comes from your community. It begins at home. And I think that's where we have lost it in the West, because that is still the case in South America, in Colombia. Those women were talking about families, and they're dating with intentions to have families, because that's how they were trained. That's how they were brought up, in the home. That's what they saw. Of course, I'm going to be a mom. Of course, I'm going to have a bunch of kids. Of course, I'm going to get married to the man that I love. Of course, I'm going to be there for my family. Of course, we're going to have big Christmas, and we're going to have the big holidays. Of course, of course, of course. Whereas in America, that training is gone. There are women out there who still come from strong homes with mom and dad and strong family and religious convictions, and they still get it. But those numbers are dwindling. That's not the norm anymore. And that's where America needs to put in the work, in my opinion, because we need to. We absolutely need to. Next time we come on, we're going to be talking about Dr. Scott Galloway. I saw a video he recently did, about an hour conversation. It was a really good conversation. He actually got emotional towards the end. I definitely want to talk about Dr. Scott Galloway. It's Professor. Is it Professor? I think it's Professor Scott Galloway, and it's Dr. Orion Taraban. So I always get those two titles mixed up. But he's been talking about no one helping men in America, like the male loneliness crisis and all that kind of stuff. And, he has great numbers. He has a new book out. So next time we get together, I'm going to be talking about that. That might happen on Saturday as well, maybe Sunday. I don't know. I'm going to continue to push out the content, guys, because we want to get our subscribers count back up to where it was before we had the 150 disappear. And there it is. Kobe's right there. It's how she was raised. It's how we're all raised. You know what I mean? Right. And also IQ, if they figure it out themselves. Yes. And this is what Kit is doing with his platform. Kit is really trying to help women and get them squared away. Whereas over here, we're trying to help men and get them squared away, because that is a big void. That's what's missing. That's what we're not getting, the home training that we used to have. They're getting it everywhere else. That's why American men are drawn to these women in Colombia or wherever. These women have that home training. They have that foundation, and they know what they're doing. They're moving with attention. They know what they want. They want to be married. They want to have a bunch of kids. Yes, they can still be successful. Yes, they're independent women, right? But they want to have their better half, not because they need a man to help them in life or to do for them, but because they want a family. You can't have a family without a man. All right. I'm sorry. You just can't, in my opinion. I could be wrong. And they want to share those founding guidelines, like the fundamentals that they learned from their parents, with their children. So it continues on and on from generation to generation. There's been a gap. There's been a shutdown in the Western world. And we don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. So people got to go on YouTube and go watch Stay Slick with Kit, and go watch I Really Want to Know podcast, and go watch Fresh and Fit, and go watch, Unplugged Alpha, Entrepreneurs in Cars, to get this information that used to be standard. Every home would give it, but we don't do it anymore because that foundation has been destroyed. We got to get it back, guys. We got to get it back. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I got to go. I got to get changed. Got to put some pants on to go get my daughter. Yeah, like and subscribe. If I said some stuff in here that makes sense, man, clip it, send it to somebody who you think might need it. Bro, we're in a bad state. We're in a bad state, and it's not getting any better anytime soon, guys. It just isn't. It is what it is. So let's just buckle down and make it happen. And let's get it squared away. We can do it. We can turn it around. It's just going to take some time, right? And in the meantime, you men need to get yourselves gamed up. You need to understand which types of people to avoid, men and women. You need to understand that. We're talking about dating now, so you need to know what type of woman to stay away from. But when we get into talking about business and stuff like that, you need to be careful what kind of men you have yourself around, because the wrong type of dudes could get you into some serious issues, bro. All that is the real red pill. All that counts, right? So appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.